Hi, I'm Michelle, Director of Educational Content and Programs at Shape America. And if you want to learn more about health and physical education, you are going to love Toy Talk Tuesdays. And I'm not talking about these kinds of toys. I'm talking about Teachers of the Year. Shape America Teachers of the Year represent the best adapted physical education, dance, health, and physical education teachers in the United States, and you get to hear directly from them. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and be sure to comment below with the tips and resources you want to hear about most. If you're interested in learning about how to become a Shape America Teacher of the Year, just make sure to click the link right here below. Thanks so much for watching.
Today's segment will address key standards to focus on during hybrid or remote learning experiences. I am joined today by Todd, Amber, LaDonda, and Dan, and I will give them each an opportunity to briefly introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Todd Stoddard, and I'm the 2020 National and Western Middle School PE Teacher of the Year, and I currently work at Mashpee Middle High School in Mashpee, Massachusetts.
Hi, I'm Amber McLane, and I'm 2020 Eastern District Middle School Physical Education of the Year, and I am currently at Guilford Middle School in Guilford, New Hampshire.
Hi, I'm LaDonda Porter. I'm 2020 Southern District Middle School PE Teacher of the Year, and I currently teach at Beaumont Middle School in Lexington, Kentucky.
And I'm Dan Tennessen. I'm the 2020 Midwest District Middle School PE Teacher of the Year, and I teach at Super School in Indianapolis.
As members of the Shape America Teacher of the Year community, you have a unique platform to share your expertise, talents, and leadership with health and physical education teachers across the country. We are so proud of you and your accomplishments and appreciate you participating today. I'll now turn the program over to Todd to kick us off.
All right, so when I start off the school year, I always like to focus on Standard 4, which relates to students being able to demonstrate responsible personal and social behaviors. The way that I like to do that is to start the school year off by talking about what I call the 6 positive traits of character. And then I give my students some definitions. So what I'm talking about are things like respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, caring, fairness, and citizenship. Once I talk about these traits with my students, I have them kind of come up with their own list of actions or behaviors they could take in my classroom to demonstrate those. So in essence, what I'm asking them to do is kind of create their own behavioral expectations that we're all going to adhere to for the entire school year. So if you're in person, you might hear something like a student says, I can demonstrate citizenship by cleaning up my belongings at the end of class so it's ready for the next class coming in. Or if you're teaching remotely, you might hear something like, I can demonstrate responsibility by muting myself when I first join in on a Zoom call. As a teacher, I can refer back to these student-generated lists as a way to celebrate when things are going well, if students are demonstrating these. And I can also use it as a way to help students that might be struggling to meet certain expectations in class and have them kind of review those actions or behaviors that we talked about at the beginning of the year. It's also an awesome way to wrap up class at the end of the day and really build some positive culture, because I can ask my students to give me an example about when they saw one of their peers demonstrating one of these traits of character. So I might have a student raise his hand and say, I noticed that Susie was demonstrating respect when she said good game and gave an air high five to her opponent. Amber, I'll go ahead and pass it off to you.
Great, thanks. So I'm also going to focus on Standard 4 and how I implement it. And at the beginning of the school year, I really focus on, setting the classroom norms, but also making sure that I have a positive atmosphere and the kids feel safe in my classroom. Like Todd was speaking about, we have common language in our school in regards to 4 different words that are posted throughout our whole building. And those 4 words are respectful, resourceful, responsible, and confident. And I try to implement that in how is that going to look in phys ed class. So then my kids have an assignment, and for instance, I could give them, in the virtual world, how do those 4 attributes, how do those different things work for them? And then for warm-up games, or when we do skills, we work together. We have discussion points. We can reflect on this, and really this helps us to create that classroom norm so kids do feel safe and they're willing to participate throughout class.
Well, it's nice to hear that a lot of us have the same commonalities, that we always want to start off with Standard 4 to kind of set the tone and the norms for the class. But since we're in a very unique situation with the distance learning, I kind of listen to a lot of the guidelines that SHAPE has given us, and focusing more on 3, 4, and 5 and much less on 1 and 2, but kind of visiting 1 and 2 throughout our lessons. So I've kind of put that in my syllabus when I start to introduce this to my kids when we begin the school year. And I'm really starting to hit a lot on the social and emotional learning to begin out with my kids, so that we can really hit those standards really hard and then reflect back as units start to come along throughout the school year. So that is my goal and my plan, and I know it'll go well. I know it will. And it's just going to be a little different for me because that's not what I'm used to teaching, but I'm always willing to step up to the challenge.
And I'm also really big on teaching standards 4 and 5 and working on that personal and social responsibility and appropriate behavior early on in the year, just because it creates a really, really positive environment that the class can thrive and that the students can succeed. And especially now going back virtual, I've already had a couple days back. My school went virtual this year, and just seeing kind of some of the environments that some of my students have. I mean, some of my students, they've taken their laptops or their devices out into their backyards, and they've got nice big backyards. Other kids, they're stuck in their bedroom because they've got siblings, and everybody's just kind of in a different room of the house. So the ability for students to move around in that environment can be limited depending on their situation. And so it made me really think about what is important. What do I need my students to know how to do?
Thank you. On behalf of Shape America and the Shape America Teacher of the Year Partner Network, thank you, Todd, Amber, LaDonda, and Dan, for sharing these ready-to-use activities, tips, and tricks. Be sure to visit www.shapeamerica.org to check out our bi-weekly Toy Talk Tuesday segments for more great resources from our Shape America Teacher of the Year community.